Sorry about any background noise. I've got little Lewis, the apprentice, in the other room, and he's just having his breakfast, I think. Filming this quite early in the morning, just gone 8 o'clock. Finished a batch of 6 AEB-L Classics. AEB-L is a type of stainless steel, and I've been working almost exclusively for the last 3 months with AEB-L now. It just seems such a nice steel to use, really. It machines well, it's got good edge retention, and it's tougher than traditional carbon steels. It's a little bit more involved with the heat treatment process. You've got to use higher temperatures, and to get the best out of it, according to the data sheets, you've got to, you don't have to, but it's advisable to use a freeze cycle. So I've been using dry ice and isopropyl alcohol, and I do notice that it adds 1 to 2 RC points to it, so I'm really impressed by the AEB-L, and I think going forward I'm going to be doing a lot more knives in AEB-L, and reducing the number of 01 or carbon steel knives that I do. It just makes sense because the knives, they stay pristine, you know, whereas an 01 knife, if you don't look after it, you can get pits and rust in it and what have you. And I know from experience that I've seen people in the past that they've put their knives away when they haven't dried them off after use or oiled them, and unfortunately once rust gets into the blade, there's no getting it out, really. Patination's a different story, of course, with carbon steel. They will darken with age, and that's a good thing, but rust isn't. So anyway, I've built up a batch of 6 classics. I started these back on the 7th of May, and here we are, the very last day of May now, and I've managed to complete them. It's taken me all that time. When I'm able to dedicate a good amount of time to the knife making, I estimate to build a knife and a sheath takes me 2 days, and there's also background work going on, like stabilising scales. Some wood will stabilise very quickly. For example, Masur Birch, you can stabilise that in 24 to 48 hours. But other wood, like some hardwoods and woods like walnut, they can take weeks to properly saturate and get them to sink. And that's a combination of vacuum chamber and pressure pot and time. Oh, Carmen's here. Hello, Carmen. That's my dog. The apprentice has just gone into the kitchen. So anyway, I'm going to show you this batch of 6. They've all got stabilised scales, they've all got G10 liners, they've all got quad mosaic pins, and they've all taken a toll on time to build. Oh, here he is, look. Hello, apprentice. Have you come to play with some knives? Yeah, he's a good boy now. There, look. There he is, look. He doesn't know what the camera is yet, do you? Grandad's doing a piece to camera. He's showing them the sharp knife. Yeah, when you're a bit bigger, you can have a sharp knife to play with. In the woods, we'll teach you how to use a knife properly. Look at the camera there. Can you see yourself? Look. Can you see? There. Oh. He's looking. Right, down you go then. I've got to show the nice viewers these knives. Off you go. Good boy. Onto the knives. Number 1. Oh, now you're going to come and say hello, are you? Good girl. Down you go then. There's a good girl. Down you go. Right. Number 1 knife. I did a mixture of, I had 3 D-rings left. So I built 3 sheaves with danglers and 3 just with belt sheaves. So this is a belt sheath knife, just a right hand belt sheath knife. Have a look at the sheath first of all. Usual leather work, I do my best. Double butt leather, 3.5mm thick. I've wet formed the sheath, and generally I like to marry up the colour of the thread to the colour of the liners. But you'll see later that I've also, I like the combination of black liners and yellow thread. So that's what I tend to do if I've got a knife with black liners. I don't use black thread because you can't see the thread, so well, you can't see it so easily. But the yellow thread adds a good contrast. You'll see that on some of the knives in a minute. So the first knife, this is number 1. I don't know if you can see it better in the light there, or maybe if I bring it in like that. It's awkward light for filming at the moment, and the sun is going to come round in a minute. So this is stabilised maple. It doesn't look like maple, but it is. This was sent to me by Les, who comes from North America. He had the tree growing in his garden, and the tree was attacked by ants. It had an ant's nest growing at the base of it, or it had an ant's nest at the base of the tree whilst the tree was growing, and it made the wood turn an orange colour, and it gave it a good twisted distinct pattern. So that's knife number 1, AEB-L. It's got a tapered tang, G10 liners, quad mosaic pins. These have come out really well. I'm really happy with them. There's the pommel. So that one's going out to Jeff. That's Jeff's. There you go, Jeff. Sending that out to you this morning. Right, now we're on to knife number 2. Did come with a dangler. I fitted a D-ring to this sheath. I need to order some more D-rings. And it's potluck what you get with the scales, to be honest with you. This is Masur Birch, and it's got beautiful scales. They were cut book matched, but this side has got quite a plain scale to it. So of the 6, this is the one that I haven't sold yet, although I do think I know somebody that might want it, so I'll offer it to that person, and then if they don't want it, I'll put it on the website. But it is a beautiful knife. I like it. It's again G10 liners, black G10 liners, stabilised Masur scales. It's got very nice proportions, very accurate and symmetrical handle. I pride myself on trying to get that right. Everything about this knife, about one of those, totally hand built, totally handmade. There's the blade. I'm favouring slightly harder as I learn more about the AEB-L. It's because it's a tougher steel. You can go to higher hardnesses with it, and these are 61, just over 61 HRC. And I've done my tests, battering and battening and cutting and what have you. And the AEB-L seems to well, it's tougher, so it can take a harder edge. But the thing with it, it's just as easy to sharpen at those higher hardnesses as 01 is at 59. So it just seems a better steel all round, to be honest with you. So this one's got a tapered tang, if I didn't mention that already. Tapering down to from 2mm to 4mm. So that's knife number 2. Knife number 3. This one's Steve's. Let's just give the sheath a bit of a polish, get the dust off of it. So this is Steve, my friend Steve. Belt sheath. Again, this has got the wood from Les's tree, the tree with the ant nest at the base of it. This one's got black liners. They've all got tapered tangs. I'm very happy with the way that these knives are coming out. Really am happy with them. And that wood, it is so, can you hear that? It's so tough. It's so hard. And it should be extremely stable, so it's not going to expand or shrink. That's number 3, that was Steve's. Number 4. I think number 4, for me, it's very personal, but I think I like all those knives up there. I would be happy with any one of them, but if I had to pick just the one for myself, I'd probably pick this one. So right hand sheath, this has got a dangler as well. And this one's got a beautiful bird's eye maple. The sun's just gone in, so it might not be showing it so well. It's got bird's eye maple. The maples, they do stabilise very well, and again, they get very hard, very stable, very durable handle. So this is going to Julian. Julian's an arms dealer, I think. He's got so many of my knives now. I'm sure he's an arms dealer. Black liners, mild taper to the tang. AEB-L blade. I'm just looking for a piece of receipt paper because they are so sharp. I don't spend an inordinate amount of time getting them super sharp. I probably spend about 5 minutes on each knife, stopping it, and then that's how I send them out. But I did relate a story to one of my customers once. I think Paul, someone called Paul. He bought one of my knives, and I saw the knife a year later, and he spent so much time fettling it and polishing the edge and doing what people do to them. It came back like a scalpel. It was incredibly sharp. But I don't spend an inordinate amount of time sharpening them. I just get them to a point where I think that's usable sharpness. If anyone wants to spend hours refining that edge, then it's up to them. But I mean, there's a piece of thin receipt paper. There we go. That's a good working edge. I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to draw my finger along that blade, I'll tell you that much for nothing. Right, the next one. Potential buyer has been informed. I've yet to hear back from that individual. So if they don't want this one, then this is one which will be going on the website at some point. It's a beautiful knife. Again with a Dangler, yellow thread. There's another one on par actually with the knife I just showed you. This is stabilised Masur Birch, and again it takes it takes the resin so well, so hard. Black G10 liners, tapered tang. Look at that pommel. Just a lot of work. I can't explain it to you, the amount of stages and processes you go through. It's not, once you've done it 1,000 times or more, it's just a step by step. You go through a series of steps and you end up with the finished product like that. But I feel after I finish a batch of knives, I feel like I've run a marathon and I feel like I need a rest. And that's what I tend to do. After I've built a batch of knives, I tend to shut the workshop up and try and get away from it for a few days, because I'm tired of it. And then after a few days break, I am eager and keen to get back in the workshop again. So that seems to be how I seem to approach my knife making. I do battle with a chronic condition. I try not to mention too much about it, but it does slow me down a little bit. And I'm just glad that I can produce the knives at my own pace. And it's one of the reasons why I don't take orders, because I don't want the pressure. I can't handle the pressure of it all. And there is a lot of pressure in knife making, especially when you've got customers with orders wanting this and wanting that and something else. So I just do what I do. If people like it, that's great. If they don't like it, well, they can do what they want. I'm sorry, but that's how I am with it now. I know what I want to do. I know what makes a good knife. And I'm lucky that running my own business, I can do within reason what I want. So that's that knife. Sorry for the little rant there. But if you wanted to buy an AEB-L knife like that, built to that standard off of anybody else, any of the big makers or suppliers, handmade, you'd be looking at maybe 30 to 50% more money than what I charge. And I've seen knives, my knives, I've seen them, people have alerted me to them on various social medias where people have bought them, and I know what they paid for them, and they're selling them for 50% or more than what they paid for them. I can't say that I approve of that, but once I've sold the knife, it's not my property anymore. It belongs to them, and they can do what they want with it. I hope people don't buy them for just the investment purpose. Although I think they will be investments, I do hope people buy them to use them and to cherish them, because I've built them with as much love as I can, with it, as my knowledge as a knife maker has gone on now for the last 12 years. I've learned stuff, and with each batch of knives I've applied that knowledge to make each batch better, and these knives now are the pinnacle of that knowledge. there's not much now that I can really do to make them a lot better, really. So this is the last knife, and this one I think I'm going to offer. I think I've emailed Les. Yeah, I've emailed Les. Les is the chap in America who sent me the wood, and I think that I should offer it to him. I've not heard back from him yet, but if Les wants this knife, then Les can buy it. If not, then I'll again put it on the website. Let's just give the blade a bit of a clean. So there you go. This has also got that beautiful red maple that Les sent me. This one's with red liners, tapered tang, quad mosaics. I even make the pins myself. And the 4 pins you see from the supplier, those 4 pins don't fit inside that larger diameter tube. The larger diameter tube is 6.5mm external diameter, and the inner tubes, I'm switching between metric and imperial, they're 3/32. If you get 4 3/32 tubes and try and insert them inside the large diameter tube, they won't fit. So each of the 3/32 tubes has got to be put into a chuck of a drill and then spun, and I use an abrasive, and I pull the abrasive along the tube to reduce its diameter. And it takes about a half hour to spin up 4 of the tubes and get them down to fit snugly in like that. So there's a fair bit of work even in making those pins. So that's a knife I'm going to offer to Les. And if Les doesn't want it, then again I'll stick it on the website. Very impressed by that wood. If you've got any more, Les, if you've got any more of that maple, maybe let us know. It really did come out well. It took me ages to stabilise it. It took me, I'm not kidding, a good 2 or 3 weeks under a series of vacuum and then pressure pot to actually get the wood saturated enough for it to sink. So I'm very happy with how these have come out. So that's it, that's all I've got to show you. I'm having a break for a few days, probably make a couple of Wiltshire Man videos, go out and do a bit of cycle riding and a bit of camping. You'll find that on my other channel, Wiltshire Man. Put a link up there to that. And then I'll be ordering the next batch of steel, probably going to be another load of AEB-L again. I think I got a couple of camp knives I'm going to build in AEB-L. I'll probably build up another batch of 6 classics, and I'll probably build up another batch of 6 Whittlers. I know I got a Whittler to build for my friend Andrew. Andrew from Yorkshire, you'll know who he is. I haven't forgotten that, Andrew. Yellow liners, and yeah, we'll see if we can fit a nice piece of wood to that. Andrew's been very kind to me. I can't say any more. Right, let's get on and edit this video and then get these knives wrapped up and sent on their way. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye for now.